ChatGPT 5 was recently launched with huge fanfare. OpenAI claims it's their smartest model yet, and they've given it to all users for free. Now, you may have noticed that the reaction hasn't been altogether positive. Here's what some YouTube experts are saying. And as for a more general reaction, here's what Redditors think. Now, a lot of users are complaining about things like personality changes or lack of creativity. But for those of us doing genealogy research, whether it has a bubbly personality matters a lot less than whether it can actually do the work that we want. So I decided to find out if ChatGPT 5 was a genuine improvement for us by putting it through the exact same genealogy test that free ChatGPT 4 had completely failed at, transcribing this blurry old newspaper obituary and then extracting all the people and their relationships to the deceased. In a previous video, I did a full walkthrough of this transcription and extraction. If you want the full tutorial, just search my channel for AI transcription. I tested 4 free AI tools for this task. Yeah, as you can see, the free ChatGPT 4 was the worst. Unlike the others, it just couldn't complete the task. Let's see if free ChatGPT 5 can actually do what free ChatGPT 4 could not. Here I am logged into my ChatGPT account, and here is what has changed. I only have one model available. That is version 5. In my ChatGPT tutorials, I usually change to temporary chat. That's because I often practice the task before I start my final recording of a tutorial. I don't want the final session to remember and learn from previous sessions. That's because I want you, the viewer, to see what happens when you come to do this for the first time. So I'll do that this time too, although you'll see that it causes a problem later on, one that I haven't encountered before. Here's my first prompt as I prepare ChatGPT for the document I'm going to provide for transcription. You are an expert in genealogy and history. You are also an expert in the transcription of images from 19th and 20th century newspapers. I will give you an image from a newspaper page. Please transcribe the image. Here are specific instructions relevant to old newspapers. Read character by character to avoid making transcription errors. Do not make assumptions. Transcribe exactly what appears in the text. If uncertain about a word, flag it rather than guessing. And here I'll upload the image of the newspaper article. It's an account of a funeral. And I will hit submit. What's going on here is that ChatGPT is in full Model 5 thinking mode. And I waited and I let it run for 13 minutes. 13 minutes that I'm not going to show you. When I say it took 13 minutes, it didn't actually finish. This is what happened after the 13th minute. I've never seen this error before. There are only 2 options for me to do here. I can start a new chat session and upload the document again, or I can hit retry. So I hit retry, but this time I chose the option of get a quick answer. Click that line so it wouldn't go through the full 13 minutes. And I'm glad I did because it gave me the transcription and it was a reasonable effort. There's some transcription errors and it didn't follow my exact instructions, but it's as good as the other AI tools. I'll summarize by saying there were 5 transcription errors. For example, it's misspelt this place name Lara as Lara Moore. Notice how it asks one question for a next step. This is another difference with ChatGPT 4, and I do think it's an improvement. The prior model could make 3 or 4 suggestions, but I already know exactly what I want. Please extract every mourner into a table with this header: name, relationship, location. I'll submit that. And here I get another error that I've never seen before. I wasn't exactly sure what was going on here. My session has only been open for about 20 minutes, nowhere near 6 hours. I think it's because I'm in a temporary session, so I'm going to have to start again as a normal session. But I don't want to type in those prompts again. That's okay. I actually have them available, all the prompts, for download as a PDF. There's a link in the description below. I'll just go and download my own prompt pack. This is the PDF. I'll copy the first prompt, paste it into this new standard permanent chat session, and upload the image again. Then I click submit. This time, I'm not going to wait the 13 minutes as it's thinking for a better answer. I'm going to dive right in and say, get me a quick answer. And here is the very decent transcription. It's actually got one less error than the previous one. That place name, Lara, is now correct. So far, so good. It's doing okay. So I'm going to grab the next prompt that asks the AI to extract a list of all the people, their locations, and their relationship with the deceased. Let's have a look at what it's actually doing behind the scenes. I'll click this toggle to expand the action. It's Python code. It's finished. Now, this confused me. I was expecting to see a grid with at least 50 people. There are 4 people here. I clicked around, trying to scroll down, but no dice. I asked for the full list, and it gave it to me, but still in this hard to use pop up window. It's a really stupid interface. I could copy this over to a spreadsheet, but I'm not finished with the text. I do want to apply some extra instructions around the abbreviations. You'll get more details in my full tutorial. The prompt is in the prompt pack. Here I'm grabbing this prompt and I've reached my data analysis limit. Here's my pro tip. There are still some things you can do with this data analysis limit. As long as you see a chat window, you can try to enter more instructions. I want a better display, which doesn't mean anything new. First I say, display the full table. It says it can't do advanced data analysis. But then it says that it can display the full table in text form. So I take a hint from that second sentence and I give it a modified instruction. And now I've hit another limit, the free plan limit. And this time, I can't go any further today. So I'm back 24 hours later, and I've got to upload the image again and ask for the full transcript in order, hopefully, to get further and complete the task. Here's prompt number 1. Notice how in this output, it remembers that I had a previous transcription. It asks me if I want the same prompt number 2, the full list. I say yes. But I'll also mention that I want the output displayed in text form so I don't get that weird pop-up box. So I'll submit that. Here's the list. So now it's asking me if I want to repeat what was prompt 3 in my prompt pack. I'll say yes. So that's working with the dittos, and that's done. So now I'm going to grab this final prompt, the 4th prompt, that I wasn't able to apply yesterday. For the full context of what this prompt is doing, you can watch my tutorial. I'll just say that it's giving ChatGPT a pattern to recognize that the mourners are grouped into sections, with the sections ending in a relationship in parenthesis. So all of these mourners are sons. Then we have the next section that ends with the parenthesis daughters. So all of those are daughters. Similarly, daughters-in-law, sisters-in-law, brothers-in-law, series of nephews, a whole lot of cousins. That's the biggest list, ending in cousins. And then finally, these 3 people who are vaguely described as relatives. I'm not asking ChatGPT to infer a pattern. I'm explicitly telling it what the pattern is, and I'm asking it to extract the data based on my instructions. I've pasted the 4th prompt into the chat window and I hit submit. Here we go. I'll simply point out that this is wrong. There's way too many people marked as relative. They should be cousins. Here's my first attempt to correct it. Hit submit. It tells me I'm absolutely right. Uh-oh. And no relatives at the end, because it tells me the final relative section is not present, which is not true. Second attempt to correct it. So now it's gone into deeper thinking. And it tells me that now it understands. And has another go. Ruh-roh. That's worse. Now it's decided that there are 2 relative sections. There aren't. I correct it again, and this time I'm so desperate I ask it to use deep thinking. Submit that. Thinking longer for a better answer. Please do. This took about 2.5 minutes. And finally, it's got the relationships right. So that's it. And what's my final verdict? Well, it took 2 days because of the limits. But on the second day, it did remember the corrections I'd made from my session of the previous day. And then, although it was going wrong with my instructions for the relationships, When I asked it to go into deep thinking mode, it got things right. So on that basis, I'm going to change my verdict on free ChatGPT on this task from being a fail, which it was with ChatGPT 4, to being it completed with ChatGPT 5, but the user experience of doing it across 2 days and hitting the limits was not as good as the other tools. It's a C minus, maybe a C. I still recommend Claude for this task. If this content was useful, appreciate a like and a subscribe.